Why has President Biden bombed over here in the United Kingdom, and why now are senior political figures here in the United Kingdom not looking towards Biden for great leadership? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. That is your political story breaking out of London today. Now, many may not know that in my other role I also cover politics directly from Downing Street, but today we thought we'd quickly update you on the situation in hand. Now, as you know, a lot of people did feel rather differently about the former president, which was, of course, Donald Trump. But apparently, according to close sources within Number 10, they're now actually missing Donald simply because at least they could get instant answers to their questions when they put calls into the White House. It appears that Mr. Biden, or President Biden as he should be rightly titled, is either always engaged or unavailable. Now, what's really sort of forming over here in the United Kingdom is we don't really know that much about President Biden, but we do know that his popularity has simply tanked. Rightly so here in the United Kingdom. And that's really all to do with the way that he handled the recent Afghanistan crisis. But another problem is this: we're not quite sure, according to senior political figures, just who now is running the United States of America. And more importantly, of course, moving forward, we really like and admire, and more importantly, need you as allies in the quest, of course, moving forward for the world. But right now, a senior source told me, very high up in the cabinet, that actually, yes, they do miss Donald Trump because for all of his faults, he did get back, he made instant decisions, good or bad. It's interesting to note as well, isn't it, that one of Donald's biggest critics, the author Michael Wolff, has decided to put out a brand new book. It's not selling very well over here, we can tell you, discounted heavily already. But interesting to note for Mr. Wolff that it's called The Final Days of the Presidency. Now, what I can tell you first here on the channel is this: I'm not quite sure I believe all those allegations that are centered in that particular book against Mr. Trump, and here's the reason why. Mr. Wolff was invited to my studios to appear on an Australian TV show, and of course that was for his previous book. He turned up one Sunday afternoon with his assistant in tow. However, although this was a pre-recorded interview with a major Australian network, the minute the questions got a little bit hairy, all about where he got his sources from and how true some of these things were, he decided that he couldn't hear in the earpiece, quickly whipped it out and literally ran out the studio. And when I say ran, I mean ran. We didn't even know he'd left. So what you have to think about with all of the stories regarding, of course, the former President Trump, how true were they? You know, when you look at the critics now and you say, well, okay, as one source told me over at Parliament, well, you know, you have to take people at face value. And when you look at President Trump, yes, he may have had his faults, but he did move the country forward. The feeling over here, particularly in senior positions of Parliament, is simply this: Biden has bombed over here in the United Kingdom, and now they're wondering just how long it will be before he's permanently removed. Neil Sean in the heart of London.